Hello, welcome back to FC Barcelona Central. I am your host Pedro, and today we're diving deep into the latest development from Barcelona. We got updates in a goalkeeping situation, a potential goodbye for a La Masia product, critical financial insight, and even a finalized La Liga calendar. So, Kules, the plans for our goalkeeping for next season, it's the duo of Joan Garcia and Chechnich. That's been kind of like being said. This means that we need a solution for our captain, for Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, who's on the contract until 2028. Well, Marc Ter Stegen has, expressed his desire to stay with Barcelona. A new attractive option might be opening up for him to, to continue play at an elite level, especially if he wants to be part of the 2026 World Cup. We're talking about AC Milan. The Italian giant is reportedly negotiating a transfer of his star goalkeeper to Chelsea. And if this move is confirmed, Milan will need a guaranteed replacement from the Frenchman international. And Ter Stegen's profile, experience, and that he's proven for a big club will be a perfect fit. Playing in a top tier team in Serie A will give Ter Stegen the performance that he needs to secure that goalkeeping spot in his national team. Well, Saudi Arabia has been tempting, giving us some offers, but with low competitive level being a drawback, Milan will be a good place for Ter Stegen, given that he would like to remain close to his children who reside in Barcelona after his recent separation, allow him to travel more frequently, and it's no for nothing, but Milan will not be playing any European competition next season, given that they finished eighth in Serie A. So it will be a flexible schedule for him, I guess. Ultimately, the Milan route will be a good option for Ter Stegen to continue playing in Europe. But first, the departure of his current goalkeeper has to be confirmed. In another departure news that we have is the one of Ansu Fati, who is really close in. It seems like he's leaving Barca this summer, and he could practically will be saying goodbye to him. The player has given an okay for to go to Monaco, but the final agreement and the final details are being ironed out. The Blaugrana club, views this operation very favorable, and the primary object of this is to save Ansu Fati's 12 millions salary, to save that yearly. Right now those numbers ain't quite matching up, and Barca is really pushing hard on this, just to have some salary relief, which is absolutely critical for our financial planning. The negotiation is led by super agent Jorge Mendes, who has gotten a green light from all parties, and he's also very involved with the Ansu's family, and giving telling them that Monaco is the best option. It will be a type of loan with a buyback option for Barcelona if Ansu Fati becomes really good next year. And at this moment, Barcelona still has to part ways with his salary, and the club is now asking Monaco to take and Ansu Fati to make some type of effort. If Ansu Fati really wants to leave, he might have to contribute himself. Now, remember that last season a path was explored for him to move to Sevilla, which him and his entourage was really, really keen on, but nothing, happened, given that they were not offering us enough, money. So another guy who's been in the news lately is one of those of our young left back of Gerard Martin. According to reports from Diario Sport, Barcelona is now open to negotiation for his sale, but only if the right financial offer is made. The club will consider leaving him for maybe 12 million euros. This situation has developed quickly. This was not a name that I had in my list last week, but with the Wolverhampton showing a strong interest from the player, the English club, who has a very good ties with, again, super agent Jorge Mendes, who we know that he has a big influence in that team. Well, Barca is not planning to sell the La Masia defender initially. This recent interest have made them reconsider, especially if a good offer is made. At this point, there is no formal bid, but Barcelona believes that Gerard Martin's value has gone up, especially after his strong finish to the season. Martin played crucial matches, including matches against Real Madrid and our UEFA Champions League semifinal, where we lost to Inter. So they see him that they could probably get about maybe 8 million euros, if not more. But I think they believe to be more due to his amount of good quality that they are available on the market, and he's one of them. It is important to note that Barcelona is not forcing Gerard Martin out. They they see him as a backup to Alejandro Valdez, and this potential sale of Gerard Martin will kind of telling the board that they want a more experienced left back. One of the names discussed that we discussed in another video is Alejandro Grimaldo, which such an operation could be around 15 million euros given his clause. So a sale for Martin of 12 million euros in a 15 million buy for Alejandro Grimaldi for a very, more mature player will be what they're looking for. However, Wolverhampton is ready to offer as much, a good contract and a good salary. And if that happens, they definitely can guarantee him minutes. They can guarantee him like a starting role, where he won't get in Barcelona. Maybe a lucrative deal in Barcelona securing funds could be the way to go. So, Barcelona is waiting to see how this thing develops, but there's a growing belief that an offer will be made soon. Another defender that Deco really literally told them that he's not going to count with is Andreas Christensen, whose contract runs into 2026 and is actively prepared for an exit this summer. The 29-year-old has been informed that he's not part of the club long-term plans, and Barca, who is now open to selling him if they find a suitable offer in the next coming weeks. This decision, while not being unexpected, is part of a broader strategy to trim the squad and ease financial pressure. His departure will save the club around 9 million euros per season, and Barcelona now has 5 central defenders for just 2 starting positions, making it clear that they definitely have to sell one. Despite him having injuries, setbacks due to injuries, Christensen is now opposed to a move if a good offer comes in. Barcelona, I know that they have been receiving offers from Saudi Arabia, with Al Nassr emerging as a potential destination for him, given again there's a lucrative deal here. It is noted that since his Barcelona switch from Chelsea, Christensen have made just 80 appearances and 4 goals. While he shows some good flashes, in good quality, the injuries has been a concern. I think it has prevented him from becoming a key figure. For Barcelona, securing a clean transfer at the right price will consider to be like a very successful outcome. But I want to talk now quickly about the La Liga president Javier Tebas, who spoke recently in the La Liga FC Futures Final. Tebas weighed in on the FC Barcelona economic situation, stating that the Blaugranas know what they need to do to make big signings. In another topic, he commented in the was talked about Ballon d'Or race, insisting that Vinicius cannot be ruled out, and that while praising our very own Lamine Yamal, he thinks that we should not forget about another candidate on the same thing. He said that Rafinha is on the same level of Lamine Yamal, but there are moments that you have to highlight someone. And he thinks that the important thing about Lamine Yamal is that he shows that homegrown talents like Leo Messi can be world class. He also mentions that Lamine Yamal has a lot of room a long way to go to consolidate himself as a star, but right now he is one of the very best of the world. Some very nice words from Barca Barca hater. But finally, after months of negotiation, La Liga and the Spanish Federation have finalized a calendar for the next upcoming season. The 2025-2026 season will kick off on the weekend of August 15 to August 17. The final match day will be playing on May 24th for the first division and May 31st for the second division. But there is an issue. Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid matches might be able to push back given if they reach the final phase of the Club World Cup, which is one of the federation's demands. Tebas, however, is not guaranteeing that any of this happen. He said that neither Serie A, Premier League, nor Bundesliga are going to delay any championship for the World Cup. He says that we cannot depend on international tournaments that are organized with our agreement, and we need to make that decision. He says that he wants to see how far this goes, and this happens to them every time the World Cup and European Championships. There are moments that decisions needs to be made, and we already won that the Club World Cup will hurt us a lot. Again, some very strong words from a president on a very busy calendar. So, with potential high profile exits, a critical financial update, it's clear that the summer is heating up for FC Barcelona, both on and off the pitch. I do want to know what are your biggest takeaways from today's news. Please let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. My name is Pedro, but my close friends call me Dro. Until next time, and Visca Barça.